Do you feel anxious because you've been realizing that in order to get to the next level, that you need to take some risks, but at the same time, your sense of security, the need for security is so important as well, and it feels like they're at odds with each other? Well, in this fireside chat, what I want to share with you is why job security is standing in the way of your freedom to grow. And this is analogous to the movie The Matrix, when Morpheus shared with Neo around the blue pill and the red pill. You see, security is not freedom. In fact, security and freedom are the opposites. And for a long time, every individual has been programmed for as long as they can remember that security is important. Think about it. Where in your life have you heard the phrase, go to school, get good grades, and then you can get a safe and secure job? You may not have heard it in those exact words, but somehow that message got to you. And as a result of that, job security was really important. A sense of security was really important. And it's been taught to us that security is a basic human need. Right? Outside of shelter, food, clothing, there is a sense of security beyond that that is important. And this has been as a result of programming. We need to seek security. Security is important. You want to provide for your family, you need to seek job security. But I'm here to say, security is not freedom. In fact, they are the opposites. So in the movie The Matrix, Morpheus says, well, Neo, he says to Neo, you can take the blue pill and you can go back to your life. You can go back to living in what you've been believing and nothing can change. And so security represents the blue pill. You take the blue pill and you can continue chasing job security in recognizing and that whole cycle of, well, I want job security, but I can't influence anything outside of me. I don't have control over the economy. I don't have control over what my bosses and my higher-ups do or say. I don't have control over my coworkers and promotions. I don't really have control over those things, but I want the feeling, and that's what I'm going to pursue. And you can go back to that, and that would be the blue pill. And so Benjamin Franklin says that job security, if you take security, you don't have independence. And that's exactly it. Security does not equal to independence, because security means I need to depend on someone to give me the security. I need to depend on my higher-ups to give me that opportunity that I feel that I deserve. And in that case, when that happens, then I'll be secure. If and when that happens, then I'll feel a sense of security. And so that is a lack of independence, because now it's difficult in that moment. Can you appreciate? It's difficult in that moment to have independence of thought, independence of creativity, critical thinking, and thinking how the way that I am and have that independence. It's very difficult in that situation. And Helen Keller said that there is two things in life. You can either live a life that is ordinary, or you can live a life that is extraordinary. And you get to choose. Do you want to live an ordinary life, or do you want to live a life that's not ordinary at all? And there's a part of you, if you're listening to this, there's a part of you in your soul, a calling for you to step up, a calling for you to make your most meaningful contribution, and of course, to have a meaningful and inspirational reward in return. But so let's talk about that. Let's dive deeper into, well, what does the other side look like? The red pill. What does freedom look like? And is there still a sense of security if I choose freedom in the red pill? You see, if you take the blue pill, which is security, you get neither. But if you take the red pill, which is freedom, you get both. You see, freedom by its very nature, it burns the bridges to security. And that's exactly why people who take risks are going to constantly feel like this fear of it not working. Because freedom burns the bridge of security by its very nature. And so if you recognize, in order for me to get to the next level, I need to take risk, and I see people taking risk, but I need that sense of security. Remember that freedom is a choice. You get to choose. And the feeling that it's not working is by the nature of freedom that it burns the bridge of security. But I submit to you that there's no such a thing as something not working. The only reason why it feels like and it looks like it's not working is because we want our efforts to work for us. In other words, if I do this thing, if I take that risk, I want it to work for me. I want it to work in my favor, and this is exactly what it means to work for me. But I submit to you that on the path, before it can work for you, it's going to be working on you. And that is more important. The path that it works before it works for you, we need to last beyond the learning curve. We need to last beyond the winters of our challenges in order to have a season of harvest. And so while that is happening, is working on you. You become a different person. You become more resilient. You become more authoritative. You become the person that you need to become in order to be able to sustain the success of it working for you. So there's no such a thing as effort that doesn't work. All effort that you put into it is going to be working. It's either going to be working for you or it's going to be working on you. And it can't work for you until it's worked on you for a certain period of time. So get this. Freedom by its very nature burns the bridges to security. And that's why it feels like it's not working. But this is where you can be grounded in the principles of the truth. By the laws of nature, there's no such a thing as work that does not work. You want it to work for you. But are you committed to stand the test of time? Are you committed to weather the winters of your life, which are part of taking risks? It's part of life, even if you don't take risks. And can you weather that storm and be committed to the outcomes and allow the work to work on you as long as it needs to for you to become the person you need to become? You see, the red pill of freedom is a choice. You get to choose. You can choose. You may be empowered to choose. And in so doing, you are not compelled by circumstances. You're not compelled by another person. You're not compelled by a thing, but you have the freedom to choose. And when you choose, this is your ability to empower yourself in that path, along that path, and for your purpose as well. And when you do that, when you choose that, the upside of it working for you is infinitely greater than the downside of it not working for you. So what are you focusing on? Are you focusing on the downside of it not working, which has a bottom? Or are you recognizing, at the very least, recognizing and appreciating the unlimited upsides? So here's how it works. A skilled professional in the workplace can create really good times, positive times, and create positive productivity. A skilled worker can do that. And so in good times, when there's productivity, when there's good times, it can create weaknesses, weak people, because you're all good times, things are all going well, and people get in their comfort zone, so that creates weaknesses. And so when you have weaknesses, weak individuals, unskilled because complacent people, that creates bad times, negative productivity, bad times. But bad times, when there's negative productivity, that harners strong and skilled people. You see, it's a cycle. Good times and bad times. Good times create weak people. Weak times create strong people. It's a cycle. Recognize that the upsides of that choice to freedom is unlimited, infinitely unlimited, but there's no such a thing as effort that doesn't work. There's no such a thing as work that you put on that doesn't work. But the downside has a bottom, and it's a cycle. And your job is only as secure as the business acumen of the owner who founded your company. And it's only as secure as the relationship you have with them. So the greatest risk in your career path and in your life, the greatest risk that you have is not taking any risk at all. So with that, I want to hear from you. What is your key takeaway? I know this was a lot to digest. So this is a fireside chat. I want to hear your comments. Share with me your greatest takeaways. And I want to hear from you. Freedom is a hard path, but it leads to your most empowered, beautiful place. Now, in the next video, I'm going to share 5 rules from how you can prepare for that executive position that is your calling. That video is coming right up next. I'll see you there.